Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to War in the Pacific. So, I'm just going to quickly check some options, and then we should be good to go. Now, let us see. We're going to have... let's take a look at these options here. So, we're losing options. So yes, we're going to define the player upgrades. We're going to have the historical first turn. I could do it without the historical first turn, but as this game will ideally be picked up by a few of you who have not played before, I'd like to show you what it's like. So basically we'll go as if he's just a brand new player right off the bat into the game. So go like that, reinforcements will keep it fixed. Now, game options, I could turn this off, which I'm going to. I'd rather have my submarine operations dictated by myself. Combat reports, yes, no, no. I'll leave that one on for the time being. I'm going to increase the AI difficulty to hard. Hopefully it should help the AI out a little bit. And yes, here we go. So we're going to go with War in the Pacific, the full campaign here. Now, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's a very, very interesting game. And truly one that deserves to be widely recognised for the gem that it actually is. Because that is what it is indeed a gem. So, right, here we go. The Grand Campaign, covering the entire War in the Pacific from the start of the attack on Pearl Harbor up to March 31st, 1946. Assume control of either the Japanese or Allied armed forces in a bid for conflict, and in a bid for control of the entire Pacific Basin. Can you do best than either Yamato or Nimitz? We'll find out. Okay. Nagumo's first air fleet has been at sea since November 26, 1941. On the 3rd of December, Nagumo refueled, and the point of no return had been reached. Kidabutai was committed to the attack. The time for negotiations had passed. On December 4th, the first of the invasion fleet sorted and sailed towards their objective. By now, December 7th, the first of two waves of strike aircraft should be approaching the target, Pearl Harbor. All that is left to do now is wait. Indeed. Okay, so it goes over our objectives here. Further, you are required to establish a defensive perimeter of the bases in which to repulse an attempt by the West to reclaim what is rightfully ours. While doing so, crucial opposition, we must be in a position of strength towards to withstand the weight of the Western industrial might, should be brought to bear once the enemy recovered from the initial blows. Okay. Glory for His Majesty the Emperor, and victory for the Empire of the Sun. Banzai, banzai, banzai. So we're going to go into it then. Okay, so basically, this is going to be rather interesting. There's a few things that can happen differently here. Now, there are going to be the American carriers. We do have a small chance of actually catching the American carriers with our submarines south of Pearl Harbor. That is going to be rather interesting. I did on my first playthrough get very, very lucky and actually torpedoed Lexington. But we'll see. Okay, now we're going to have to figure out how the audio is. So ideally the game is not too loud. I can make some adjustments on the fly as we need to. Hopefully the music isn't too loud either. Ideally we'll be good to go here. Okay. Just going to sign out of Steam, just momentarily. There we go. So what's happening now is the turn resolution here. The first turn with the options on for the historical first turn basically dictates that the player has no interference until the second turn. So this is going to take some time, but it's going to be a great introduction for new people, as basically we'll be able to see how the game functions, how the actual units perform here. It's going to be good, it's going to be very good. Ideally people like this map, ideally it's not Okay, now hopefully that should be a lot better. So you can see here that we have 126 DVA-1 valves, 144 E5 indicates. Now, the zeros are the big points here. It's not much of an American response to Hawaii. Obviously because we caught them by surprise. The December 7th surprise. In effect, we should be able to inflict some quite heavy damage. Okay, so, click down on this one. Now we can see that we're actually attacking over here. Get sort of, there we go. Okay, so we can see roughly some information here. So we can see that we have taken a few losses here. The Allies have taken some losses as well. They've had a few fortresses destroyed on the ground. Important news, really. Now, down here's where we're looking at. So the Oklahoma has apparently been hit by 8 bombs, supposedly hit by 8 bombs. All of this is possibly true and possibly false. So we do need to bear this in mind and take everything with a pinch of salt. After all, war is a war of misinformation. Truth is the first casualty, I do believe the saying is. Okay, so the Oklahoma, heavy fires, heavy damage. California, the same, though only on fire, not too heavily damaged. The West Virginia, heavily damaged. Pennsylvania, fire, heavy damage, however. The heavy cruiser San Francisco has supposedly been sunk outright. That would be nice. A heavy cruiser is in fact a good target. So up there, Eric, how you doing, my dude? Okay, the Arizona, Tennessee, Nevada have taken damage. The Arizona and Tennessee taking more damage than the Nevada. The Maryland, not too many torpedo hits. The torpedo hits is really what you should be looking for. The torpedoes are the things that really are going to be delivering the killing blows. Okay. Notice the lack of carrier vessels here. Now, the Japanese were trying to catch the carrier vessels at Pearl Harbor, but they were unable to do so. So there are going to be some submarines here to the south somewhere. Let's see if I can find them just... Okay. These are my submarines. Now, we'll be looking around the area here, see if we can find anything. We might get lucky. Might very well get lucky. Now, let's see here. The repair shipyard has been hit a few times. Not too much. The runway has been really knocked out. Sadly, this wasn't too badly damaged. Did we deal any more damage then? Let's see. Okay. Not too bad. So approaching Wake Island with some bombers here. Right, we did lose one. We have destroyed a few Wildcats on the ground. That's pretty good. Damaged a few more. Let's see, what damage did we inflict to the actual airfield? Not a huge amount, but still significant amount of damage. Okay. Now, the campaign in the Philippines will have to be persecuted very, very quickly. We're going to be quite aggressive in vehicle production as well, so we're going to increase the expansion there quite quickly in the second term. The Philippines, though, we will have to basically move along these bases. Ideally, we're going to have forces landed down here at Grigsby. I believe it's pronounced Grigsby. I'm not very good at these pronunciations. As well, we'll be landing over here in the north. We do have a submarine over here to keep high on the middle of the bay. Try to prevent any forces from leaving the Philippines or from reinforcing the Philippines. Now notice the resistance that we're facing here. B-35s, B-26s, B-40s. These aircraft aren't exactly up to scratch. They're not terrible. I mean, the B-40 is not too bad. The other planes are more or less outdated, but again, this is the Philippines. It's not going to be the Americans' A-grade stuff. Okay, let's see. Going for the port over here at Davao. Let's see, can we inflict anything of worth? Okay, so this is not bad at all, actually. So we've hit a transport, another transport, a AVD we'll take a look at in the future. I'd imagine this is probably an auxiliary destroyer, perhaps, or an auxiliary ship of some nature. I do have a document with the different ship types, which we'll take a look at in the future. Game audio is too loud. Yep, I'll bring that down. Is it the game audio or is it the music audio? So I can edit both of them on the fly. There we go. We'll bring all of that audio down. Hopefully I'm loud enough here. Evil 6. Is this game as good as War in the East? This game is the superior. I would say. I'm very much looking forward to War in the East 2. That's going to be the one that's going to be on the same sort of level. Damn, this music is quite loud, isn't it, actually? Let's see. We'll have to do some quick adjustments here again. There we go, hopefully everything is fine. I would say War Pacific is in its league, in a league of its own. There's really nothing else that has the same scale. War in the East is a superb game, and it will be very good once one of these two has been released, which will feature increased logistics present in the game, which will bring a lot more meat in. Right, okay, so game audio like fighters and stuff. Yeah, the audio is quite loud for that sort of ambient stuff. I'll be able to change that as we go on. Let's see. Apologies about this, it's really trying to gauge it as we go. But things will be better for the next stream. Let's see, we'll bring that down. There we go. Right, okay, so we can see here we destroyed... Oh, I hate these wildebeests, they are so irritating. I've lost ships to these guys before. Okay, do let me know if the actual music is loud enough. Ideally I'm loud enough as well. It's looking quite good on OBS here. Okay, you can see that we have a combined operation here. So we have flights from two different air bases. They will try to coordinate and arrive at the same time to inflict the maximum amount of damage. Okay, destroyed a Blenheim on the ground. 21 damage. That is very impressive, however. Very, very impressive. So we can see here that this airbase is quite important, so we'll have to send troops here as quickly as possible. You can see here that we have Japanese forces already landing on the Malayan Peninsula, so we do need to be very quick with our movements. We'll have to march them as quickly as absolutely possible to Singapore. That is a vital, vital interest that must be taken. Okay, another airstrike launch from the base over here. Good amount of damage. Now the war in China is one that we're going to have to fight quite smartly as well. You can see that we have all these Chinese forces within the hinterlands of China itself. Ideally we can try to relieve a few division-sized formations by dealing with some of these bases, freeing up that rail line while taking control of that rail line. Okay, Hong Kong. I feel I might be able to go with a deliberate attack to break them in the second turn. Ideally, anyway. Okay, so we can see the attack here. Let's see. Runway has been hit, of course. Okay, hitting the supply dump is very important. Okay. Yep, there we go. We might take some losses due to the presence of the... Yeah, you can see here. 12 of them destroyed. That was not very good. I mean, we inflicted fairly light damage compared to the losses here. So ultimately not very good. How much time is represented by one turn? It's about 24 hours, I do believe. Okay, so we can see the presence of allied ships in the area. Submarines are something I'd very much like to hunt down. The allied submarine campaign can be the greatest threat to the Japanese Empire. We're also going to have to take a look at the supply situation in Korea, China, the Philippines, and beyond, as we need to get these resources back to Japan itself. We'll have to step up a anti-submarine warfare defense of the islands, of the home isles. Okay, air action in China itself. We'll try to take some of the forces from Manchuria if we can, though we have to be quite mindful of the Soviets' presence. If too much force is taken away from Manchuria, the Soviets may have ideas about actually declaring war against us and seizing territory while they have the opportunity to do so. Okay. Ideally we get very, very lucky and our submarines, like the I-22, do in fact find the American carriers. That'd be a great boon. Though if they do not, that's still fun. Okay, we did hit an E-class destroyer there. You can notice here that we are losing a few scout craft. That's due to the presence of AA. Okay, Clark's airfield is one that we're going to have to take down. Now we do have a good presence of zeros here. You can notice how the engagements work out here. Hello there, Lorenzo. How you doing, my dude? As you can see here that these guys will start off at higher altitude, obviously dictated by orders, which we'll be able to take a look at in the second turn. Yeah, there we go. So it's at 26,000 feet. So it's all about height in these kinds of engagements, and getting the drop on the others. So let's see. So we did lose 5 of these, sadly. We did destroy some of those fighters there. Really, not much in the way of damage. This game is definitely more complicated than War of the East / War of the West. There is potentially plans of a rework in the future, though War of the East 2 is going to be fantastic. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I mean, this game, I am using a graphics mod with it. It doesn't look normally this beautiful, but there's lots of options out there, there's lots of mods out there for you to really change it up. It's very easily modified. If you guys head over to the One of the Pacific forums over at Matrix, you'll be able to find out. Get involved with the community as well. Okay, formation approaching our ships. So you can see here that these planes have arrived from this airbase over here. I believe this is this ours, or it might be from the nearby airfield at Botani. But either way, air support has arrived to basically interdict these bombers as they try to hit our ships over here, our flotilla. At Kotabaru. Right, we'll see if they do in fact make it through. It appears that they do not make it through. So the Allied forces there lost a swordfish, but ultimately their attack on the flotilla over here at Kotabaru was stopped. Okay, you can see here another 6 Hudsons are trying to make it through to attack the flotilla, and they're ideally not going to be able to. Though they do make it through, 5 of them make it through. So the destroyer Arashi is under attack. The heavy cruiser Suzuya. Now, yeah, there we go. 1 destroyed, 5 damaged, 1 destroyed by flak. Very good news. So they actually took a pounding there. Right, they made it through since we were unable to intercept there. Now, ideally, we avoid damage to the airship ships here. I mean, I could have the Mogami, for example. I did lose this in my first ever playthrough. That was due to the damage inflicted on it. It did, in fact, take a hit, and because I was trying to move her too fast, she sank. So if ships are damaged, you do have to move them at slower speeds to avoid sinking, to avoid the damage being, damage control being overwhelmed, should they be hauled below the waterline, that sort of thing. So that's something we'll have to take into account. Okay, so we've had a very good response over here. Ideally shoot a few of those bad boys down. Right, 5 of them make it through. What are they going for? The battleship Haruna. Good amount of flak here, though I very much like destroyers, as they're very handy. They don't have much capacity nor firepower, but it's the fact that they're very maneuverable and able to really inflict some good damage on aircraft. Battleships do have that increased AA power, but it's their size that really makes them quite vulnerable to enemy aircraft. Okay. Yeah, 4 destroyed, 6 damage. Fantastic news. The Haruna has taken 0 damage. Great news. So what we need to try to do then is secure a few air bases in good strategic positions to be able to have ships nearby to intercept enemy aircraft. Basically protect our fleet. Okay, number of B-17s attacking the base over here. Ideally they don't inflict too much damage, but 10 of those bad boys, 5 of those bad boys make it through. We need to find their airfields that they're operating from and basically take them out of action. Okay, they inflicted a slight bit of damage. They were dropping large amounts of bombs, but it seems they weren't too effective. Yeah, so we can see here that they're flying from Clark's airfield over here. So we do need to capture that as soon as absolutely possible, or at least make it hell for that airfield to operate, which we can do. I'd rather keep my planes in reserve, basically use them sparingly, when I can use my land forces to take control of those areas. Okay, okay. No massively interesting results as of yet, but we'll carry on. Why not make 2 carrier groups near the enemy? By 2 carrier groups, I mean 2 carriers. Indeed. Now, this is the historical first turn, so I can't impact on this as of yet, but we will split up Kitabutai into multiple carrier groups and create some smaller carrier groups near the home island using, like, escort carriers, light carriers, that sort of thing. They'll be very useful. Okay. So we had a naval bombardment of Midway Island. We did, in fact, damage 5 Catalinas. These are really important aircraft for the Allies. Phenomenal range, phenomenal reconnaissance aircraft. So they do need every one of those. Now, these 2 destroyers actually did put some hurt down there. Massively, massively so. Okay, so we have the Sendai bombardment. There we go. You can see the weather effects over here. Right, so we did take some losses from our forces landing here. Right, the Sendai, Ayanami, Shikanami, 8th Indian Brigade. Enemy troops, indeed. As you can see here, the defensive guns did fire and they did put that hurt on our troops. But 63 loss is not too bad. We'll probably still lose some during the... yeah, let's see. 18 loss from the IGA Engineer Squad, and from this squad as well. So the 12th Engineer Regiment lost a few men. Not too many, really, but they did lose a few. We lost a gun, which is a shame. Abadan Island... yeah, okay. 24 troops lost. But we do take the island, I do believe. Okay, that's a 12-hour phase first down. Okay, Japanese shock attack at Bataan Island. There's no resistance here, so we're going to win. There we go. First victory. Now the attack at Kotabaro. So you can see here the 56th Infantry Regiment is quite powerful, 121 combat power, assault value. The 12th Engineer Regiment, 47. Okay, ground combat, allied bombardment attack. 15 casualties for the allies there. None for the Japanese forces. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to see Warplan Orange updated, to be honest. I've tried playing it, but it's just the resolution that's the issue. If it wasn't for the resolution, then it's like I'd be able to make do. Like, if I could get it to 1920 or at least 1280, something like that, make it like recordable, I'd be extremely happy. I'd just make do and play the game. But sadly, no. It is a shame. It's a very interesting period of time, one that's really not represented in many other ways. So I'd have loved to have seen that. Oh well. Right, here we go. So we are at our turn. So December 8th, I think I was in fact wrong. I believe the turns are about 12 hours then, apparently. Right, okay, so we have a few options that we do need to carry out. I'm going to assume that these are French troops, potentially? Or possibly American. Okay, so we have the entire game before us. We now need to make our orders. So we're going to survey the area, really get some information. But first of all, what we're going to do here is we're going to save over this here. So save. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the save file and put it into the Pacific tracker so we can keep an eye on it and see information. So what I'm going to do is going to bring this up over here. Ignore my messy desktop. Okay. So go to save. There we go. Delete that one. Paste the save in here. Now if I check my settings, I have it to read that save file. There we go, so I'm going to launch the tracker. Give it a few moments. Is it possible to use your G4M Betty or G3M Neil to starve the enemy's outpost like in the Philippines instead of using your forces to storm so you can conserve your losses? Good question. I suppose you could, in a way. I mean, let's put it this way. There's going to be somewhat local production of supply, basically from the enemy having industry in that location. So you could theoretically starve them if they were being solely supplied by the sea, by amphibious means. But they'll still have some industry really there, so that's something to bear in mind. Okay, so now what we're going to do is going to take a look at this important chart over here. And I'm going to bring up my spreadsheet with the information that I need, and we'll go through it and discuss things. Okay, so what we have to bear in mind here is, let's see, supply and fuel. Right. Supply, report will do it, okay. Right. Yeah, these are the warnings that we have to look at here. Apologies about this, it's a little bit difficult to explain. I'm not entirely well versed in this myself. I do have the basics down, it's just trying to explain it in a way to make sense. But basically, if I recall correctly, resource centers are... Let's see, I'll bring it up here so we can actually see in-game, and then it's a little bit easier to show off. So I'm just going to bring the live stream back up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to Japan itself. I'm going to take a look at the Kyoto region. Well, that's not Kyoto. There we go, we'll take a look at the Kyoto region. Now, if we take a look at the Kyoto region, we can see all the different things that we have present here. But let's take a look by hovering over. We can see in Kyoto, heavy industry 1,950, but resources is what we're looking at the moment. So resources, resource centers, whatever you want to know them as. Basically, you have that number, and then that number is times by 20. So that is how much resources it actually does produce. So let's see. So we'll do the 280 times by 20. So that region of Kyoto, Osaka/Kyoto, is producing about 5,600 tons of resources, we'll put it that way. Now, how it works is heavy industry needs, let's bring it up. Right, okay, so resources times 20, light industry times 15. Okay. It's a little bit hard to explain. I was going to try and find something to make it a little bit easier to explain. I'm just looking in the background here, it won't be 2 moments, then it's going to make a lot more sense. Apologies, I should have had this available. Right, here we go. So we're going to take a look at the economic draft, basically. This was created by a fellow on the forum. Let's see, can I find his name? His name is Damien. Damien's guide here on the Japanese economy. So, a distinction should be made first off between the whole Japanese Empire and the Japanese homeland economy, including Hokkaido and Sakhalin, which are not connected. As they are not connected to the flow of raw materials, needs to be understood, which I'll outline later. Looking first at the Empire economy, it's important to point out that all final manufacturers are made at the macro level. For instance, a plane factory in Manchuria without a heavy industry plant or engine factory in the same city doesn't have to worry. Heavy industry points and engines are global, whereas fuel supplies are needed to be processed at bases with raw materials and the complementary factory on hand. So now what that means is if we go and we take a look at the industry management tab over here, and I'll just remove that, we'll go to, let's say, vehicles. So you can see here we have factories at Hiroshima, Shashikura, Kanazawa, Kobe, Maizuru, Osaka, Kyoto, Yokohama, Yokozu. Basically, these vehicle assemblies are only present at these locations. So, these locations need to have those resources on site to actually be able to produce those vehicles, I do believe, is how it works. So, let's see. Supply fuel. Yeah, resource storage, 99,300 tons. Fuel requested, fuel stored here is 28,350 liters, I guess? I don't know, we'll just say tons of fuel. Just call everything tons, makes it a little bit easier. So yeah, we need those to actually produce things. So if we bring up the helpful PDF over here. Okay. Right. So, now this does look quite intimidating. So our two main basic raw materials are resources and oil. Resources are made at resource centers, RC, with a multiplier of 20, which we discussed. So Kyoto has 280 times 20. So one resource center produces 20 resources per turn. Oil is produced at the oil center with a multiplier of 10. So, one oil produces 10, one OC produces 10 oil, which is then converted into fuel and supplied at oil refineries. The oil needs to be at base with an ore, so oil refinery, to be converted. The ratio for input is 10 to 1. So basically, if we take a look at our planner here, and if we take a look at resources, supplying fuel. Okay, we'll take a look at the report. So we have oil. So I do believe this is indicative of our production. So yeah, we need more oil. Apologies about this, guys. I'm trying to find a way to really explain this. Let's see. Right, so this is the amount of oil in these regions. Right, oil refineries, this is what I'm looking for. So you can see that we have oil refineries in Tokyo, Kyoto, Shimaneski. Yeah, these regions here. So we do in fact need to capture more. Much more. There we go. Hopefully chat's keeping up. I know this is really, really confusing. Yeah, Damien's guide is priceless. It is indeed, isn't it? I advise you to do the Mersing Gambit, block and retreat into Singapore by landing a few Marine regiments in Mersing. I'm sad I can't watch the whole stream. I've only just started anyway, so you're not missing out on too much. If you're making the H8K Emily, why are you making the older H6K Mavis? I thought scrapping the older design would be the best way to go. It will be the best way to go. Basically, I've not touched any of this. This is basically just on the go right now. Just as we get it first turn. Trying to make this accessible for new players. I'm not doing a great job right now, as I should have had a lot of this prepared to begin with. It's been a little while since I played as well, so I'm just trying to get around to it. Okay, let's see. Charts. Production, resources. Here we go. So now this is only turn one, sorry. We don't have too much to go on. Now if I read this turn here, you can see it start to load. Okay, so now we have turn 2 loaded. So we might have some information to work with now. Okay, here we go. So we have production chart to take a look at here. And I want to take a look at resources. This is going to make it a little bit easier to explain. So you can see here the amount of oil is slightly dropping, I think, or remaining much the same because we're not using too much. It is somewhat hard to tell with that line. It's basically staying the same as of this moment in time, as we've not used that much. Yeah, it goes in the 500,000. So it's going to be a while before we start to see the trend here. Production. Okay, you can see that this is already starting to go down here. So heavy industry is increasing, manpower is decreasing, armaments are decreasing, vehicles quite low. Naval production, merchant production. Okay. So, basically, what we're wanting to do here is get our heavy industry moving. Get it working for us. So I'll bring this PDF back up. Okay. The ratio for inputs is 10 to 1. 10 oil will be needed per oil refinery. This will produce 9 fuel and 1 supply. Okay. Yeah, so basically how the game works is you've got to have everything there for it to create something. You can't just have a little bit of it, you've got to have it all there. So if you're making some fuel, you're going to need that 10 oil. You can't have 9 oil and make 7 fuel and like 1 supply, for instance. You've got to have it all there, it's all or nothing. Okay, this goes for the heavy industry and light industry, hence the need to be vigilant about keeping the industry supplied with their respective raw materials need. Okay. Resources are used by light industry and heavy industry. Once again, a reminder of those resources must be at base for industries to produce. They're not global. Light industry only uses resources produce supplies at a multiplier of 15 to 1. So 15 resources produces 1 supply. So yeah, you can see here that we really don't have that much. We do need to go out there and grab more. Heavy industry. Resources are used by heavy industry at a rate of 20 resources per heavy industry, so quite expensive. Apart from resources, heavy industry also uses fuel at a 2 to 1 ratio. So, yeah, fuel is something that we really need to get up there. We need to increase our production dramatically so. Okay, so 224. Let's see, does it actually explain the chart? I do believe this is the amount that we have. Yeah, so this is the amount of production that we have. So we produce 224 oil from our production centers, from our OCs, which is times by 10. There we go. It's then converted into oil. So the oil is then sent to the oil refinery. The oil refinery then creates the fuel and the supply. So the heavy industry uses the fuel and the resources. So we have our numbers here. So really what we need to do then is dramatically increase the amount of fuel coming in here. Now this is the bottleneck, the fuel production. That's what we need to really up there. And of course our ships will use fuel, which draws further away from our fuel, which is not good. Not good at all. Now, let's see. Our heavy industry goes down here, which is times by 2. And then this is used for all sorts of different things. So airframes, engines, vehicles, armaments, naval yard, merchants. So a heavy industry point is times by 6 for armaments. So what we can do here is we can save out on a lot of these armament points that are going here. The heavy industry that is going to the armaments. What we can do is we can go into our heavy industry planner. Into our industry planner, I should say. Right, okay, so we're going to deselect all. We're going to select armaments, which is over here. Now, what I'm going to do is, in fact, hold it. Well, basically stop it all for the time being, so we can actually take that and save that heavy industry and use it elsewhere. We're not doing too bad in terms of armaments. We'll produce them as we need them. So there we go, armament production has stopped for the time being. I'm going to go over here to vehicle production. So turn off that. And I'd like to increase the size of these factories. So you can see here size 12, 25 is our largest. I'm going to increase their size. So you can see here, they have that fuel and they have those resources. So we'll go back over here. And we're going to increase it. So 12. Alright, we can only expand it to 24 at the moment. So expand now. Now, the expansion is going to come at the cost of using these points from the armament. So because we've stopped producing armaments, we'll be able to use those points to then go towards actually increasing the size of the vehicle industry. Basically producing more tanks and light vehicles, that sort of thing. So this one we are going to increase as well. On a small production increase here. Right. Just going to bring back our handy-dandy guide. We're going to go down to our first turn setup. Okay. Right, here we go. So this is what we're going to do. So, halt 240 armament production. It's a good point. Actually, we don't have to probably halt at all. We'll just make sure we'll go back and be sure. Okay, increase each vehicle production to 30/40. Yep, which we are going to do. So that's at 25. Okay. So that would take us to 30, 32. Only 10 at the moment, that's fine. So we'll go back to the armaments. So we want to knock out about 240 production. So what we'll do then is we'll turn everything on again, and then we'll go back and get rid of that much production. Basically free up that much points. You can see here like 90 guns, so this center here has 540 heavy industry. We need to be using that for other things. Like Tokyo. So 140. Let's see. Sold by heavy industry. There we go. Lovely. So that's about 250 heavy, well, armament stopped, so that's fine. That's fine. That'll be enough for now. We'll leave the rest of them on now. That's fine. Okay. Quickly check back on the live stream. Make sure everybody's following along here. I know it's very complicated. And I'm not exactly explaining it very well. We'll go on and make the best of it. Okay, so we've increased our vehicle production. That's fine. Right, so another one is going to be the naval shipyard production. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go down to ship production. And you can see here. So naval points and merchant points. Now if we go back to industry, to our chart, airframe vehicles, naval yard, okay. So this is our naval yards, these produce the military ships. And the merchant yard produces civilian ships, transports, that sort of thing. So what we need to do then is really expand this so we can actually create more, build more, and get ships out there faster. If we take a look at the ship production, classes, we'll take a look at the carriers really. So, DOA means date of arrival, point of arrival, well, port of arrival, and how many points they need. So what we can do then is we can actually accelerate the construction of some of these, which increases our point cost, but that's good news. We'll start the production of the Shinano, which is over here. Now, the Shinano is very expensive. It's a very, very large carrier. Not exactly many planes though, which is the thing. Air capacity is only 47. The Taiho, for example, 72. Iyo, 53. Unyo, 53. The Akagi... Right, the Akagi is not under here because we're not building the Akagi is already there. If I go to ships, carrier, IGA, IGN. There go the Akagi. Ship. Available. Right, Akagi. So you can see the Akagi has an air capacity of 81, which is it's very important. I'd much rather have a ship with a larger amount of planes carried, because that gives you so much more power. I mean, sure, it's nice to have an armoured carrier, but then again, your carrier should never be in danger anyway, as much as possible. Okay. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go back to this menu over here. I'm going to bring up the naval shipyards. And we're going to increase the shipyards. What we want to do is we want to have an overall increase in production, increase in size to about by another 100. So we could spread that out a little bit. Which is probably a wiser idea, really. Then again. We'll have it spread out between these first 4 locations. So we'll have 25 in each of them, or as much as they can handle. So expand. Wrong one there. Another 25. So you can see the cost here. 2,500 supply. So, so to get that supply, we need to have 25,000 oil. So from 25,000 units of oil, I do believe we only gain 2,500 supply, which is not a lot. You can see that we really do need to increase the amount of oil that we actually do have. I might have got the math wrong there, but you get the rough idea. Okay. I don't think I actually enacted that, so we'll do that again. There we go. Ah, only 10 here. Ah, no, there we go, we can expand it further. So only 15. So we need another 10 here. There we go, lovely. So, that's going to help us get the amount of points that we need. Well, the amount of production capacity that we need. So if we go back to ship production, you can see here at the moment, 1384. We need 1383. What we can do is we can free up some more capacity by stopping the production of the Shinano. So what we'll do then is we'll go back to here. I believe we'll go and let's see. I'm trying to remember how we get to that now. Might be under information. Yes, it is. Okay. Ship availability. Aha. So here we go. You can see the Shinano over here. Shinano would be a lovely, lovely ship to have, but it's going to take too much time and too much in the way of resources. So the Shinano is going to be halted. You can see that affecting our points over here. So 1383 with the Shinano at normal build rate. If I take the Shinano out of the equation, that's down to 1226. Now we do have the Junyo class, which is this over here. Now these are fine aircraft carriers. Let's see. Quite good, quite good. Good capacity. And you can see here they'll be ready in 1942. Air capacity of 53, which is decent. So what we'll do then is we'll bring it up to speed. Well, rather accelerate it. So what we'll do here is, let's see, can I change this? Can't change it here, which is a shame. Okay. So the cost of the Shinano. You can see that's a lot. That is a significant amount. If we take a look at the Junyo. 84 points per day, 252 accelerated. So we're going to accelerate the construction of those carriers. Alright, all ships, carriers. Accelerate that. That takes us to 1562. Now, what we're going to do then is basically increase the production that we have available to make up for that. So that's fine. What we can do as well is we could go through and sort of remove certain ships that we don't really want. According to the guide. Oh no. Do I want the Junyo or do I want the... Let's see. We'll just put those on normal production for the moment. Taiho. Shinano, obviously we stopped. Yes, this is the one I'm looking for instead. The Yurunru. Yunru? I don't know how the hell we say it. Yeah, this is the class of ship I'm looking for. So if you take a look at the heavy industry cost, you can see it's actually not that bad. It has a higher capacity too, though these are going to be ready in 1944. If we actually accelerate it, you can see here it's vastly different in terms of time. So rather than the 6th of August, we'd have it on the 8th of April 43, which is a big difference. You can see why having extra ship points really can allow you to do different things, as you can accelerate the construction of certain ships and have them out there much sooner than otherwise available. Okay. Speed these up. Make sure they're all the right class. There we go. So they're accelerated now, so we're now using 1409. Not too bad at all, really. So that's that done. Let's see. See you later there, crazy. Have a good day. Yeah, what a complete waste of resources. It really is, really. So for those resources, it'd be better off probably scrapping it and just making smaller ships. But then again, if you're already into that, you might as well go for it, I suppose. Yeah, it's a different series, this Secularis. It's a different one. Basically take some of the lessons from the first series and apply them, and go over things in a much better way. There's a lot of different things I could have done, and should have done, and we're going to go through and do those. Plus, it's also good to get back into it. I've had a lot of people requesting this, so I thought go and do it. Right then. So, we've sorted out the production of the carriers. We can continue to follow the guide, which I'd recommend doing yourselves if you're new. Obviously, I am still fairly new. I do have some experience in the game, but not too much in terms of setting up the industry from the first turn. So I'm going to take this and go with it. Okay. So we need to turn off about 300 in terms of merchant ship capacity. Okay, so that takes us to 200. 75, 25, there we go. So we've taken out an additional 300. That's cool. So if we take a look at these numbers. Okay. Mass production is 807. In pools 371. So I believe these are the points that are available. If I put this back on. Ah, okay. So you can see this is production that's been shut off. This is the actual production. That is the theoretical max production. Okay. So that's been done. That frees up some more resources, which is good. More heavy industry. We go back to our chart over here. Yeah, that's freeing up some points. Okay. Turn off all merchant ships except those currently building. That's fine to say. So if we take a look at the ship production over here, if we go to, let's see, merchant ships. These are tankers. These are merchant ships. There's all sorts of different kinds of merchant ships, basically. Yeah, here we go. Different sizes. The L dictates size. Or does it? No, it doesn't actually dictate size. Okay. These are queued, so we'll cancel these bad boys. These ones will be left to build. And we do have a lot of them to begin with. Let's see. Ship delay. Okay. So we'll cancel the rest. So we'll go here. To be fair, we do have a huge amount of merchant ships already available to us. We're going to look after them anyway, so let's see. We'll sort by ETA. Okay. Let's have this sorted. Okay. Put this to one side so I can see what I need to cancel. And what I need to keep. Just going to open that again. Hopefully it sorts it into... Well, then again, actually, let's see. The Chijima. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the rest will cancel. There we go. Cancel the construction of a lot of ships. Indeed, there we go. That's going to save us a lot of industry there. Okay. Put that back down. Right. So, there are a number of important ports that we do need to deal with. Basically, where resources are going to be moving from. Well, this looks like a simple game in the same way that nuclear fission is simple in physics. Will you be building super battleships or will you avoid those heavy cost ships? So let's take a look at the cost of the Yamato. So, naval production. Okay. Now I'm half tempted to accelerate that construction. But it's still going to arrive relatively soon anyway, so it's not too much of an issue. It would use a lot of resources though in the meantime, so not really worthwhile doing. So we only have the 2 extra battleships under production anyway, so that's not too bad. We can afford to keep them being produced anyway. We stopped the production with Shinano, which is good. In terms of cruisers, we can see here only light cruisers. The Agano, the Oda class. Destroyers is really where it's at. One of them underway at the moment, being constructed. The Makigumo. Submarines are really what I'm quite interested in. Let's see. So CVB are ships like the, basically heavy carriers. Light carriers. Wibuki. Soho, Ryuo. These will be done shortly, as you can see here, 26th of January 42, 28th of November 42. Take a look at the heavy industry cost. I might consider just accelerating this to actually bring that number of days down further. Yeah, that's quite nice. When did I start? I started about an hour ago. We really have only gone past the first turn. Nothing much really done. I might consider it speeding that up, but I can actually change that. Awesome. What we're going to do then is going to go through and change this then. So, shipyard naval. Bomb. Let's see. CV. So, we start the production of the Shinano. We'll be able to see this reflected over here, so... Start the production of the Shinano. I should see it update. I guess it might take another day. Yeah, let's take a look at the submarines that we can produce then, shall we? Ship classes. There we go, SS. Available. Okay. So we're looking for the I-400. Will you be putting this up after you are done? Yep, it'll go straight on. Why restart the Japanese campaign? Is there some specific objective in this new campaign? The objective really, and the reason for it, is to do it, and to do it just in a much better fashion. Basically do it in such a way that people will be able to learn from this. I'm gonna be still learning myself. But that's the idea. Do it better, and do it in a much more simple way. Show it off, and just get Warner Pacific out there again. I do enjoy this game, and I can do better. Okay. What I'm looking for is air capacity, I take it. I imagine you're probably looking for the submarine aircraft carriers. Okay. All. Size of that bad boy. That's a big old submarine. Let's see. Let's find the I-400 that you were talking about. What is its actual class name? It's actually just the I-400, okay. Tonnage, then. I don't believe we can actually produce that unless it is something indeed special. I have way. Back to production. So halted that. Yeah, these are the ones that we accelerated. Okay, so it's actually lovely. Okay, so it lists these separately then. So we'll have it under the calculation status and probably make it easier to see. Okay, celebrated. Shinano's been halted. So you can see here that we'll have a few ships. We'll have a decent amount of submarines actually. That's cool. Submarine chasers, the Yamato and Musashi. Not terribly much in the way, though. Not terribly much. So we do need to be careful with what we have. Okay. Right then. We need to figure out which ports we are going to expand. Find the relevant section for that. Though, let's take a look. So the region of Sakhalin over here, we're going to have resources transfer between the port at Toyohara to Wakanari. That's where they're going to transfer. So you can see the fuel and supplies here with the resources. What I'll do then is actually bring up the So, resources. No mainland. Okay. So I've only seen the Japanese region here. Okay, it may take some time. I'll instead go to industry. Okay, I can't seem to find the relevant menu I was looking for. But basically, let's see, we might be able to find it through here. Resource availability. Where are we? There is an important port I'm looking for. Basically Shanghai. So if we take a look at Shanghai, you can see the amount of supply, fuel, resources are over here too. Now automatic convoy. So what we have here then is the stockpile. Now we don't want to stockpile. I'll do it. Well, See, I don't want things to stay here. I want them to flow to here, but then I don't want them to stay here. I want them to be picked up. But I might need them to be stockpiled, in fact. I think I might need them stockpiled so that we can actually pick them up. Okay. Let's find the relevant information. Just trying to find it now. Okay. Uno momento. Okay, yep, I have what I need. Okay, so what we're going to do then is I need my drawing tool actually. Let's see. Just one moment. Bring up Epic Pen. Okay, awesome, awesome. Let's check the live stream again. Right. Sup there, Amengolu? How are you, my dude? I wouldn't have attacked Pearl Harbor, intelligence or no. Nothing points to the fact that the Americans would have been cowed if I was even overly successful. I mean, the general idea behind the attack on Pearl Harbor was really to just wipe out the response, the immediate response. It's like there was no sort of endgame of invading America or anything like that. The best case scenario would have been able to just capture Hawaii. The idea was just to basically make it just too difficult, too much of a pain to stop Japanese expansion. Just super peace, really. Nothing much else beyond that, really. Quite a simple goal in mind. Okay, the Japanese attack was designed to destroy or damage the entire Pacific Fleet. Yep, indeed. They could have helped the Germans instead. Helping the Germans like the Japanese gave a single F. See, the interesting thing is, like, the war in China was really bogging down. Really, really bogging down. It was just, it would take years at the very, very least. Which was not something Japan had. Okay, anyway. Back to the setup. So, let's see. I'm just going to bring my view over China, see if I can get all the ports in question I need. Okay, so I'm going to draw in, let's say, blue, the load-in ports as they're known. So I need to find them. Shanghai is 1. So Shanghai... Sapporo... Trying to find these. Rivers are navigable as well, so that's something to bear in mind. Okay. Port Arthur is another one. Let's see. Not too many really in China. But basically, these are the ports where we're going to be loading from. So from Shanghai and from Port Arthur. So what we do have to bear in mind, is this is going to be our shipping lanes. So, really, this area, under here and through here, especially here, is very vulnerable. Just here in general is incredibly vulnerable. These areas are very, very vulnerable to American and just in general Allied submarine attacks. It's going to happen, it's probably going to happen in these areas, as they're very, very, very vulnerable. Traffic is very much funneled. But either way, so I was trying to show more, but we'll make do. So what I'm going to do then is, let's see. Right, okay. Right, so what we want to be doing then is increasing the port, basically. How it works is if we go over here to Shanghai, and if we take a look. So what we'll find is, if I hover over it actually, is we'll find that the port size... Let's see. So port capacity is 7. So yeah, there we go, port capacity. Now that dictates how much capacity that port can handle. So, Shanghai has a maximum ship dock of about 60,000 tons. So that's the largest single ship that it can handle. The port itself can handle something in the region, I don't know, I believe it's about, yeah, here we go. That's it. So this is the maximum size ship it can handle, like one ship. This is the total it can handle. So you can see here, this is in total docked. So there's currently 0 docked here. So that's fine, that's fine. If we head over to Tokyo, we'll be able to see that, yeah. So maximum over here, this is a size 10, 84,000 tons, 196,000 tons in total. We take a look over at ship production once more, or ships, battleships. Let's take the Yamato. So the Yamato, how heavy is that bitch? So the Yamato is 67,000 tons. So we won't have any issues there, which is good to know. Yeah, see. Ship classes will go by all, sold by the Imperial Japanese Navy, and will go by tonnage. So the largest ship, the heaviest ship that we will have, is the Yamato class. If we take a look at the US Navy, their largest ship is the Iowa, at 48,000 tons. The Midway is a very large carrier, very, very large carrier. Only slightly smaller than the Iowa. So you can see here that we're not going to have any issues at size 10 ports. We're going to have issues when it starts to come to ports of smaller sizes. So size 1 is 11,000 tons roughly, size 3, 33, size... It's probably around 6 that these ships will be able to manage in. At a 5, probably, perhaps not, if we take a look. Let's just take a quick look at Port Arthur. So Port Arthur is very large, very large. Do I have a size 5 port? Size 4. Ah, there we go, size 5. Yeah, so they wouldn't be able to enter into a size 5, so it's a size 6 or higher, basically, for those kinds of ships, for them to actually dock. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to go and take a look and upgrade some of these naval bases. Increase their size, if possible. So expand airfield, we can't expand the port here, sadly. It's unfortunately not able to be done. But I believe we can expand Shanghai. Yep, so we're going to expand the port at Shanghai. There we go. That's going to be expanded. Now we're going to go through our base list and find them that way. Install bases. I wish I could sort by just like naval. Ah, port will do it. Okay. Just bases here. So, I'm looking for Shiro. I'm probably better off sorting by alphabetical. Ah, here we go, Shiro. So we're going to expand that port. So Kushiro is going to be expanded. Let's look at what we have over here. There's Kushiro. We'll find them. We'll find them. Somewhere. I'm probably just quite blind. Either way, we're going to expand those ports. The idea is those are going to be the ports where we send ships to load up at, and then take resources from there. So what we'll do then is we'll go back. Not ground forces. Bases, there we go. So that one, and the next one is the Sapporo. Here we go. Expand the port. Now the next one, Hakodate, however the hell you pronounce it, is relatively easy to find. There we go. Expand. Lovely. Bunoran is the next one. Here we go. Expand. Shikuka. There's a lot of S's in Asian languages. Shikuka. Tayohara. The base at Fusan. There you go, Fusan. Expand. Oops. There we go. Only a few more left now. Joe. There we go. Shanghai we've done, Port Arthur we can't do. No. Offload in ports. Now these are basically ports where we're going to be offloading. So, we're going to start from the top. Hawaii. Obviously a lot of these are going to be here, it's going to be a little bit difficult to see them. I'll go through this and then at least we'll get it done. You guys can follow along as well. I'd recommend doing the same. Right, okay, so... Oh, I missed a lot of the chat here. I did indeed miss a lot of the chat. Okay. Oh, wow. Indeed, it is one of the best games there. One question, where are the commies? They are to the north. Yeah, we can't take too many divisions from Manchuria. I do tend to take some of the troops from Japan itself. Train pilots to produce more and more engineers. Engines. If you can spare the Marines, invasions in China practical. See, could you lower the music a bit? I could lower that bit. Surprising, that's so loud. Let's see. There we go. We'll lower that a little bit more then. Hopefully that should be okay. Yeah, so we're taking Marines from, just in general, and using them in China to be practical. The numbers really are too small, to be honest. We do have pretty much the entirety of the Chinese coast. I could use them for rivers, but it kind of seems like a bit of a waste for their potential. I'd much rather use them to capture places like Rabaul, or launch invasions in the Dutch East Indies. So we'll use them in that sort of area. Malaya, and try to destroy some Marines. Okay, is the music want to be a little bit lower? Or is that okay? Probably a little bit lower. There we go, we're on 50% of the volume. Righto. Either way. Should be good. Right, wacky. Oopsie. There's a lot of setup, but once it's done, we'll be good to go. Okay, expand that port. So let's see wacky. Sendai. All of these names will be quite familiar, as they'll be obviously on the Japanese mainland. Well, home islands, anyway. There we go. That one's just down here somewhere. Yeah. Not this one, that's Hiroshima. Okay, we'll find them. Amianto. Niigata. I'll just go through them. You guys will be able to see what I'm doing anyway. You get the idea, basically. Expand. Okay, this one can't be expanded, actually. Shimaneski. Shame. Okay, expand that one. That cannot be expanded. Nagasaki, I think it is, that we're looking for. Expand. Tokyo. Can that even be expanded? We'll find out. I doubt it, probably max size. Yes, max size. Yokohama. Right, okay. So we've done all of that, which is good news. So the idea here is that basically we're going to have the resources from Korea, China, Sakhalin, basically head into the mainland. Obviously then we'll look at ports in Malaya, that sort of thing. Resources from Thailand too need to go up to here and from Formosa. Basically, well, Taiwan. Right, so what we're going to do then now is going to look for engineers from the divisions here on the land. Have them moved these, well, places of expansion. So what do we have here? We have in Shanghai. Alright, we have a base force. We're not seeing engineers. We do have a army corps. No engineers as such other than the base force. Well, no, but again, I do lie. We do have an engineer unit over here. Okay. Port Arthur, no expansions going on here. So don't need to worry too much. I'm just looking around to see what I can find. Fair enough. Toyohara. Do you have that construction? Do have engineers over here actually, fantastic. So I'm going to have them strategically move to Toyohara. They're going to move by that rail system. Hokkaido. What do we have here then? We have some engineers, superb. 7th Division Northern Army. Fortress Garrison. Yeah. Actually, what do we have here? Coastal defense. Okay, you're being expanded. How about Hokkaido? Oh, this is actually the wrong one. Okay. I thought that was the name of the port there. So yeah, I want to move those engineers. Yeah, so we're going to have those move down to the port here. Okay. Let's see, do we have any engineers in Manchuria? So these are Soviet forces. Yeah, here's the border. So that's the border of the Soviet Union. This is the border of Korea. Well, Korean border. Okay. Engineers. So by engineers. Another construction regiment. So I'll have that moved down to Shanghai. Movement not allowed. I guess we'll have to move it around. It might be due to the fact that we can't get there via rail, actually. Though I should be able to. We'll try having you sent over here. And then they'll move on. Okay. Ah, this is much more like it. strategically move them to Shanghai. It might be to do with the commands, perhaps. Let's see, can we make it to Nanking? Can't make it to Nanking. Very, very well might be to do with the actual army command. Suzhou? Okay, can make it to Suzhou. We'll just move them like that. If we have to, we'll transfer them. We'll transfer their commands. Okay. So this is going to be expanded. Do we have engineers here? We do have engineers there. That's going to be expanded too. What do we have here? We have some engineers. That's going to be expanded. We only have a fortress garrison, so we need to get some engineers in that area. Shipping engineer. Let's see, do I have any engineers in Tokyo? Well, Kyoto. Naval base force in Tokyo. Base forces, I'm looking for some actual... Right, we have a base force. Right. Let's see. Ground units. Engineers. The Imperial Japanese Army. Okay. These are moving. Right. What we'll do is we'll have this. I'll have this unit actually translate, transferred to Fusan. I think Fusan has actually been upgraded. Is Fusan being upgraded? Fusan is being upgraded actually, so that's fine. We'll have them moved out there anyway. That's good news. Do we actually have any units at Fusan? We only have the airfield unit. Okay. Righto. A few of them at Hankow. What do we have here at Awaki? Awaki's actually been upgraded too. Oh, here we go. A engineering regiment. We'll have this one transferred then to Shimotsky. How the hell you actually say it? We'll have them transferred over that way. Oh, this is more promising. Okay. We'll call that a day then. That's fine. Now then. Let's see. How is this stream doing? Okay. I missed quite a bit. Could you... could you bomb the hell out of North Korea? The Soviets coded to attack. Let's see. Let's bring up that relevant information if I can do. Let's see. Yeah, you need to have a garrison. So basically, I do believe this is assault value in total. So you need to have at least 8,000. The Soviets aren't active at the moment. So you need at least 8,000, otherwise, yeah, they will do. Or they could do. Okay. That's good, that's good. Now what we're going to do is going to set up, it's going to be quite a laborious one, but let's take a look. So, industry, cargo planning. Okay. So what we'll be able to see here is the fuel being spent per hex, fuel per day, hex per day, cargo, tonnage. Yeah, cargo, fuel, hex. Interesting that one has a tooltip. Right. So we'll have pickup at Shanghai. Offload. Let's see, where should we offload? It's not too much of a bad choice. Well, not too out of a choice, really. We'll go with Nagasaki. Okay. Yeah, you can see that these ports are the same size. Resource ship load, 21,200 tons over here, 3,200 tons here. Resource port load, fairly similar. Oil load, yeah. Okay, so it's only resources, but I believe that's down to the fact that the Japanese port obviously does have the engineers there, while our Shanghai will not have the same sort of support. Support does add on to that quite a lot. Okay, so we're going to go with resources. What we're going to be looking for then is a good ship. Okay. Just look at days. So 5 days seems to be the best that we could get there. Hex is 15. So basically we want things within 15 hexes. I think, roughly. Trying to understand this one myself as we go on. Okay. So we have 189 of this class. Decent amount of carrying capacity there. Okay. So what we're going to do then is we're going to look for this. Now we need to set this up. So go into our ships. I'm going to sort by our transports. Yeah, this is going to be fun. I wish I could sort by class. Okay. So we're looking for Usons. Though, to be fair, I might do this one off screen, as it is quite... yeah. Quite boring. Let's see. Let's see what we have over here. Okay, that's the Daigen class. Really, what we're going to use is... we have something in the region of, like, I don't know, a couple hundred ships. We only want to be using a few of them, keeping a good majority spare and safe. Importantly, not using fuel either. So we'll see what classes we have. Then we can sort that out. Ah, here we go. So we want 30 of these bad boys sent to Shanghai. So that was the Osama. Yeah, the Osama. From a new task force. So this will be cargo. Proceed. So I'm looking for the Osama. Well, the Asama. Let's see. Cargo is probably the best one to sort by. Not seeing the Osama. Should have the Lima class. Yusen. Oh, I can actually use a Yusen. Let's see. Right, here we go. Oh, there's the Osama. I just missed it. Okay. So we're looking for, so it's 12 knots. Ah, here we go. Awesome. So Osama, Saho. Lovely. I think these are all the same class. Yeah, they're all the same class. Okay, so we have 6 of them there, so we need another 24. But that's done at least, so we'll have these bad boys head over to Shanghai. There we go. We'll just go by port, work it out that way. It's going to be quite a difficult one to do, but well. We'll get it done. We'll get it done. Okay. So we only need 12 Yusen to Toyohara. Balls Toyohara is, I forgot. Let's go by Tokyo, it's probably where most of our ships are going to be. Actually, let's see. We do have a lot of merchant ships. Right, here we go. Yep, there's the Eden class. Another one we need. Though I do need to send 28 goes then. Okay. I think what we're probably going to do here then is, in fact, call this an end to the stream. Then basically I need to follow this guide here. So I need to follow this, get all of this set up, and then at least in the next session we'll have everything good to go. I hope you guys actually learned something here. I've learned some things already, so that's pretty cool. Getting back into the game, it's going to be really good. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Now, please do consider potentially supporting me on Patreon. It does make a massive, massive difference. As well as potentially a small-time donation via PayPal. All of it makes a big difference. And especially in this world where YouTubers are finding it increasingly difficult, it does make a big, big deal. So thank you guys, and until next time, have a fantastic day, evening, twilight, whatever you want to call it, wherever you are. Goodbye. Have a great day.